Oh, oh, been depressed since the election. No, not really. I'm just growing a beard for winter. Greta, you brought winter back. Just when I was starting to enjoy global warming. Son of some kind of gun. Anyways, quick one. So everybody knows about the guy, the person who does wish to predator upon women to force them to wax that person's balls. All right. Now I'm sure everybody knows he lost at Human Rights Court. Now here's something a lot of you guys don't know, and probably don't care to know, but it's really important. What that person did to those women, okay, in my opinion, okay, and this is what I believe, and this is how I'm going to express my opinion. What that person did to those women was what they call a tort, which is French for wrong, okay? And that person, to me, is a tortfeasor. Now, wrongdoer. Now get this. If they've got the transcripts, they've got the judgment from that Human Rights Tribunal, okay, so it's not really a court, it's a tribunal. We'll get into that some other day. Those women should pool their coin together, and I'm not saying do a class action, but those women should pool their coin together, find a decent lawyer that will work on behalf of each of them. Maybe they can get a discount, okay, and take that person to court for tort. All right. Now there are legal torts, and there are also common law torts. Now I know you think it's funny I use the word common law, but law and law are two different things. Okay. Law is the customs of the people and the law of the people. The law is more of, made up by, law is more made up by persons, so one is more towards statutory and one is that of mankind, law and law. But anyways, getting back to this. Because they have this, okay, they've got this, get that person's butt back into court, and now they have a right. If you take me to court, okay, then I'll probably need a lawyer because I just addressed myself as me. Another legal term. I, myself, okay, that's lawful. Okay, so. But if you took I to court and you lost, I can now go after you for what you wish to take from me. Now there is precedence in the common law. There is precedence where, within this Judeo-Christian nation and our Judeo-Christian heritage that our laws are based upon, for the most part, is times 2 times 3, so never, if you're ever talking to a lawyer and you say, well, okay, they wanted, I don't know what that person wanted out of those poor women just trying to eke out a living like the rest of us, but that person there say wanted 40 grand or 10 grand or say 10 grand, it's just an even number. Okay, not only can you go that, so the lawyer should ask for punitive damages. Any lawyer that ever puts down a number, well, punitive damages, say another 10 grand, or 10 grand times 4, or 10 grand times 3, or 10 grand times 2. The problem with that is, no, that is not proper, and you have no right to put down a number on punitive damage. Whenever you're going for punitive damages, you always approach the court, whether it be a trial by jury, a jury trial, or judge, or maybe even this tribunal. But you always go and ask them, you know, this is what they wish to take from me, and this was my costs. Okay, so this is what I'm suing them for, plus any punitive damages the court does wish to grant. Then the court can have a discussion about it because you brought the question up. But I've seen it before. A guy was suing another guy, deal gone bad, and I saw, he says, oh, I'll take a look at this paperwork, and I'm looking at it, and the lawyer's got punitive damages, you know, 40 grand or whatever it was. I'm like, hey, I said, get rid of that guy. You can't ask for 40 grand for punitive damages. You ask the court, whatever the court's pleasure is. You know, what the court, if the court decides that there should be punitive damages. I mean, a lot of times, the reason you have punitive damages, besides costs, besides the actual suit itself, is because society, or say the wrongdoer, okay, or say maybe you're in equity court and it's a company or whatever. The thing is, if they did it to you, how many other folks that didn't bring this to court did they do it to? And so the idea of asking the court for whatever punitive damages, if the court does wish to grant, is a good idea, because the court could hit hard with the punitive so that that company, that person, that actor doesn't do it again. And they'll usually, if a court does see a reason for the punitive damages, they'll set it high enough to make sure that, well, first off, that sets precedence. That's what English common law is for the court. Common law and English common law are two different things. And I'm going to say common law, but it's actually common lore. If you look at Webster's or whatever, just look up the word lore, L-O-R-E, okay? And look up the word L-A-W. But anyways, so if the tribunal decides that it's worth, making a statement that, hey, you can't be doing this to people, and chances are you've already done it to other people, they'll set that punishment high enough that it sets precedence so that this doesn't happen again. Because using these tribunals or these hearings and stuff from these human rights things, I mean, it's to me it's ridiculous. Okay, to me it's ridiculous. If anybody has a complaint, it's all those poor folks, that poor little old lady that was being yelled at and called a Nazi on the street. You know, anybody that decides to have a discussion about the subject of the day is just called, a Nazi and discriminated against, and I mean, wasn't David Menzies' human rights violated? Well, not violated, nobody stuck his dick in his rights. That's another word, but interfered with. Wasn't David Menzies' rights interfered with as a man to act as free press, to stand on a public sidewalk, which everyone has a right. The public has a right. And David Menzies is a member of the public as well. And, not to be bullied. I mean, there's a human rights violation there, right? So, well, there's a tort, actually. And so anyways, I'm not going to say what my tort would be, but these guys figure it out for yourselves. But that's my little thing. I forgot to tell you why it's such a great day. Look how beautiful the trees are growing behind me. All that wonderful CO2. The sky's blue somewhere. So far we're kind of still a nation. Well, we are a free nation. And mankind is free on this land. But your person isn't necessarily free. And whenever you act as a person, remember, you're given somebody has authority over you. And whenever you act as a person, you have a duty, responsibility, and obligation to whatever society that you ascribe to through your person. So like you say, well, who does mankind have? Well, mankind has a duty, obligation, responsibility to his or her fellow man. Right? And what is the law that pertains to mankind? No harm, right? No loss, and no injury. Those are the three things. When you act as a driver, you're acting as that person. Okay, check out and see what a driver is. If somebody is operating for a company on public roads, that's why that driver needs a license, because the driver for that company, and the company has no right to operate on this land, has no right to pass through the public on our public highways. They have to be licensed. But a mankind going from point A to point B within their private cubicle with their property, there is no law that forces a man to have a license. And remember, it's not your license. It's the government's license. Read it. It's the government's license. Cops ask me all the time, do you have a license? Well, no, of course not. What the fuck do I need a license for? Oh, well, you don't have a license. No. I do possess a provincial license, government license. Would you like to see that one? I actually got a few of them. Which one would you like to see? You know? Oh yeah, stop putting yourself in a hole. But anyways, I just wanted to comment on that thing, that whatever that person is. And I just wanted to bring it out that, hey, next time somebody does this to you and they lose at court, you take those court documents, you get into a court with a tort, and you go get compensated for all the harm, loss, and injury that you have taken. And don't tell me that stress is not harm. The stress is huge harm. And don't tell me that having to close your operation down because of such frivolous, vexatious, ambushes, what I call it bushwhacking, from somebody that wishes to use the system for personal gain to harm somebody else to gain themselves. All right, so don't tell me that isn't loss. I see harm and loss in that thing. And you girls, you ladies, you should seriously consider having a meeting together and proposing a tort on that creature, that statutory creature. And don't worry, that's what it was. That person is a statutory creature. Sure acts like it to me. Anyways, want to touch base on that one. Thanks.